Okay, so there's a question, what is the best way to break apart one of your models to understand the interrelationships between layers, styles, scenes in SketchUp and what is happening in the layout? So what I'm understanding there is, I guess let's just hop back into SketchUp and open up that same model, that proposed conditions model. This model that I'm working on here, it is available on our website. Let me grab that here real quick. If we go to brightmandesigns.com and you click on the blog, oh, I'm sorry, it's on portfolio, and here's Pontiac Street. So on Pontiac Street, we actually posted all of the files right here. So if you download the whole zip, you can kind of mess around with this project just like I've got going on here. All right, so understanding the difference between the, I guess, like to break apart this model. For one, you can go to your scope diagram. The scope diagram will show you everything in green is going to be new. Everything on the second floor obviously is new, and you can see that there is a few existing walls, but most everything is kind of just being filled in and torn down. So that's one way to use layers, scenes, and styles to kind of break down this model. And really, I think the best way to understand the connection between SketchUp and layout is really just to really focus on breaking the model down by level. So you've got level 2, and then you've got your walls, your doors, your windows, and then same thing, level 1, you've got your walls, doors, and windows. So if you just take it, bite off the small manageable chunks of your model and just kind of stick with the system. So definitely let me know if I didn't quite hit that question head on. If you want to clarify, I can revisit that too. And just a quick comment here about, I think this might help too. It looks like there's a comment about kind of breaking up these lines. In general, my rule of thumb is all edges and surfaces belong on layer 0, and the only exception is when you need to make two surfaces kind of look seamless. So you can see that we have this line going around our house, and I may or may not have done this already. Okay, so I did not assign these edges to the layer called always off. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to assign these edges to the layer always off, and we're going to turn that layer off. So see, now those edges are hidden, but here's the thing is that okay, so I did do those in the top. Let's do it down here too. Okay, you can see that these guys are set up because these layers or these edges are hidden, but they're not assigned to always off here. So I need to make sure that these guys are on always off, and now I get that seamless look. So even though I still have the model organization of level 2 and level 1, we get that nice seamless look that we're going for. Okay, so back to our previous question with the fire tower. The tower has 4 walls but is 35 feet tall. Cutting a floor plan section at the second floor. So you're saying that all other walls on the first floor are showing up. That, like what you'd want to do to create your plan. I mean, if you look at, if I were to click on construction plan 01 heavy, well, what's going to happen there is, level 2 is going to be turned off. Our roof is going to be turned off, and I'm sorry, if we were to go to level 2, that's what I want to talk about is we want to turn on level 2 and turn level 1 off. So when I cut a section through level 2, ideally pretty much everything's going to go away except this one chunk of geometry, and then we're going to use our section cut through here. So what that ends up looking like is construction plan 02 heavy. So there it is, and if I look at it, there's nothing below. We don't have level 1 turned on, so our level 1 walls are not going to show up. Now, what I'm imagining though is that this fire tower, maybe I'm not totally, totally understanding exactly the problem, and I can imagine if you've got weird situations happening where you've got like 35-foot tall walls, and then it might take a little bit of extra work or a little bit of extra conceptual layers, but I don't think. I wouldn't envision that's going to be anything like way out of the realm of reasonable. I think you're still going to find efficiency in building your model that way. But if you want, though, send me an email to Mike at brightmandesigns.com, and I'd be glad to take a look at that. And I can troubleshoot, and just kind of suggest the way that I would set that up. Okay. So it looks like viewer 15 hesitating on on buying Condocs. Well, let's get you a hard sell right now. So, now it's modifying what is automatically generated to suit the requirements, such as the line weights of your client. So the good thing about the Condoc tools is that it's not a system set in stone. It's really just a way of jump starting the whole process. So if you run the Condoc tools and you get to let's see, let me see if I have a good demo model. So Condoc, we got some models in here. So new construction, groups and layers. Let's just run this. I think this is Pontiac as well. No. Okay. This is a different house. So I'm just going to save this, save as, so I don't mess up my demo files, to my temp folder. And we'll just call this the Jovich house. Jovich house. Okay. So this one is ready for Condoc. So let me show you a way that you would modify what Condoc is producing. So I'm going to go to my plan generator, and I only have 2 levels in this. This house is in Florida, so it doesn't include a basement. Level 1 is going to be at 3 feet above grade. Level 2, let's just call it 12 feet. It really doesn't matter. All that is just kind of, it's going to throw all this stuff into the model, and then you have the ability to go and tweak it and move things around. We're going to create all of these plans, and we'll click Setup Project. All right, so when I click Setup Project, we've got a ton of section planes that have been thrown in there. And now, if we go to Construction Plan 01 Light, let's see, Construction Plan, hold on one second, let me see here. I probably picked a bad demo model here. Views, section cuts. So let's go to View, Section Planes, and okay, so I got these kind of goofed up. Let me just open a project. That was I'm just not ready with that demo file. I'm not sure what I did to it, so let's just go back to where we were with okay, Pontiac. So we're going to go to all on design. Okay, so let's say, for instance, with this house, if I go to Construction Plan 02 Heavy, okay, now, well, maybe I decide that I don't want my roof to show up anymore. So I could go over here and turn off my roof. I can go to my scenes, and I'm already on that scene, and I can choose update, and the only thing I want to update is my visible layers, because that's the only thing I changed. So now when you go to that scene, the roof is not turned on, and if I refresh my my layout presentation, the roof turns off. So you do have the ability to modify what's been created. You can change any of these scenes, they really don't have intelligence, to be honest with you. It's just a SketchUp scene, and it's just a SketchUp section plane. So you can always go to View Section Planes, and you can see that this is my active section plane. Well, maybe I need that section plane to kind of lift up a little bit, just to make sure I'm grabbing all my windows, but not hitting the door headers there. So you can change that around and make sure that you're getting the line work that you want. Once you move over into layout, if you create a plan here, we'll open a project. Let's go to our Dropbox, Brightman Designs. We'll go to Pontiac again, and let's look at our proposed conditions for Pontiac. Okay, so once you set up your floor plans in here, you could, this is simply a Condoc scrapbook. I didn't mess with it at all, but you could certainly go in here. You could either ungroup it and select like your heavy line weights. So here's your heavy, and then you say like I want those to be 0.5. Make them really thick. So you totally have the option of modifying anything that's been created. The Condoc tools will just get you there really, really quick. So that's kind of the advantage. So don't hesitate on that. If if you want to tweak things around and make them look different, you totally have that flexibility. All right. So could you use Scalp to only create your fill viewport in section views? Yeah, absolutely. So this is my understanding of Scalp. Question is, can you use Scalp to just do the section cuts and use my system or the Condoc tools in order to create all of your plans? I think that's actually the way that I think that's what I'm going to land on. I just haven't been able to get Scalp to really work with my models the way I want it to, and I'll also admit that I really just haven't had a ton of time to dig in. So if anybody's out there really getting after Scalp, let me know. I'd like to see your models or see what you're up to and maybe get some tips. But I will be working on that, and I have it in the queue for a blog post, and I think it is important because they're very complementary products, and I want them to work together. Just have not found the perfect way to explain that yet. Okay, keep in mind that you can reuse the same section plane for multiple plan views. Okay, so what I mean by that, so there's a question here. It says in your book, there's a reference to a tip. Keep in mind that you can reuse the same section plane for multiple plan views. What I'm getting at there is that in SketchUp, let's go back to here, and I'm going to go to my all on utility scene, go all on, and I'm going to hit okay, using the same section plane for multiple views. So what I'm getting at there is that like you don't need to have a section plane on level 2 for your furniture plan, for your construction plan, for your demolition plan. You really only need one cut per level, and so that's what you're seeing here. Here's our cut for the first floor. That section plane is being used on all of our different construction plan. And I guess this project doesn't have a whole lot of plans, but for every plan, like if we want an equipment plan, a furniture plan, and a construction plan, we wouldn't want to add 3 different section planes. We use the same section plane for each one of those plans. All right, so lots of good questions out there. That lets me know that you guys are using this stuff. That's reassuring. So any other questions? Or if you need some clarification, just let me know. I'm glad to explain further. The more you use it, the faster you'll be, the more familiar it is, and then it stops becoming like this this block that you have to always think about, and then you just start building your models, and your presentation becomes just a product of that. So yes, definitely practice, use it more, and you'll get the hang of it. Hatching with watermarks. So the way that those work, let's look at Hatch B. So all right. So in order to create a plan, we have our construction plan 01 heavy, and I'm just going to zoom out So you can see this is all of our heavy line weight stuff. And then we've got our light line weight stuff. You can see all those. If I overlay my light line weights on my heavy line weights, that gives us one complete plan. Now, underneath of those, I want to underlay my hatch A. And so you can see hatch A is a vector fill hatch. So what that's doing is it's only hatching new level 1 interior walls. So all of my level 1 interior walls that are new are going to be hatched like this. Now hatch B, if we go over there, hatch B is a watermark hatch. The reason I came up with these, I actually said in the book that, you know, bummer, you can't have these like repeating hatch patterns. But then after the book was published, I kind of figured out that we can use watermarks with masks in order to get the effect of any hatch pattern going over our walls. And what's important too is that it's not that we just want to fill them in, but we want it to be that dynamic hatch. If I move my wall, then I want my hatch to move with it. So the way that we create these, and I'm pretty sure there's a tutorial on SketchUp Exchange where I actually explain how I made this. But just the general overview is if I look at the style, you can see it's called hatch lines. It looks like we got a new like ticker here. What that looks like is there's no edges. You know, all this stuff is turned off. We're going to render this display shaded using all the same. And that means that all geometry is going to be black. So basically everything in the model right now is showing up black, but the reason it looks the way it does is because I've got a watermark hatch, a watermark pattern. So check out what happens if I slide this towards my model. See, the model is all black, but when I create this mask, it now overlays that pattern. It's tiled across the screen, and I can adjust the scale of my hatching. So I can make it a little bit finer there and say, okay. So that is the way that a watermark hatch is put together. And as mentioned, I think on SketchUpExchange.com, let's just look and see if we can't find that real quick. SketchUp Exchange. And then I'm just going to do a search for watermark hatch. Hatch styles, so might be under hatch styles, but I'm pretty sure there's a video out there somewhere that I did. I posted the hatch lines JPEG, so if you're searching around there and can't find it, just let me know. I'll dig that up for you. That is correct. The watermark that we're using there is an overlay. So yeah, when you're creating a new watermark, we'll just choose an image, whatever. You're going to do an overlay because you actually want that watermark on top. You don't want it to be behind your geometry. And then you're going to create a mask and you're going to blend, you know, the image over it. So we're not going to create that though, but that's the general idea. I think the easiest way to understand these is to just take the hatch lines style, create a new one, and try creating your own pattern and just kind of see where you get with that. Okay, so then Bill's asking a question about collaborating with AutoCAD users. In my book on, let me see here, page, hold on one second here, Dropbox, here's our book files. So let's see, I'm going to scroll way down here. I'm looking for the CAD export pages, and I explained it in the book kind of briefly because it's really the same process as setting up your scene. So here you go. Okay, so on page 337 I talk about how, let me zoom in on these guys. So like if you were to set up your scene, so you've got your new walls, your existing doors, your new doors, new windows and existing windows. Well, each one of these scenes you're going to export out as a 2D DWG. So that way, in CAD, if you XREF each one of these DWG exports into your CAD file, they're all going to stack up and build another drawing. So that way, when you're handing these off to your consultants, you could hand them your furniture, your equipment, you can have everything, and then your consultants can build their own drawings that they need, or their own backgrounds that they need to work on top of. So this is a consideration, a major consideration for version 2 of Condoc, is we're going to work up a way to generate these scenes. So like, I'm not exactly sure how that's going to work, but that's definitely one of the features that's on the radar there. Okay, so there's another question, general question, just like a total time on the example 2-story house. Like I'm assuming you're asking about, like, how long did that take me to build and to figure out? And it was, I mean, these projects were extremely fast. The both Pontiac and Niagara, but actual time, let me see if we have, I have a timesheet for that. I just have to look that up. Let's see. We'll go to Zoho Books. I think it took maybe, we went out and measured it. So me and Zach went to the site. We measured it in probably an hour and a half. Came back to the office. Zach worked on it for, I would guess he spent a day putting together the existing conditions model. And then I probably spent a day myself. You know, the existing conditions plans came together very quickly with Condoc, and then I go to the drafting table and get some ideas down, and then I came up with the scheme that you guys have seen here. So it sounds to me like maybe that's around like maybe 30 hours total between the two of us. Let me see here. See if we've got legit records on this. So So yeah, field measuring, let's see, looks like, yeah, maybe like 30 to 40 hours. So, which I think was pretty quick. I mean, what we were able to come up with in 30 to 40 hours with the Condoc tools, I'll show you what that looks like. We'll go back to our Brightman Designs. I don't even. I would say more towards 40 because I know that was, or I'm sorry, 30 because that was definitely a quick project. Pontiac export. So we took that model, we threw it into Lumion. These are the actual images we delivered to the client. So the same model that's producing the floor plans and elevations is the same model used for the visualization as well. So this is everything that we delivered is, you know, the plans, the elevations, and a handful of these renderings. Yeah, it took about just about 30 hours. Cool. So when thanks viewer 20, we'll see you next time for sure. When using Condocs, as long as one creates the named containers on the appropriate Condoc named layers, Condoc should automatically generate the appropriate views for layout automatically. That is absolutely correct. So all you need to be worried about when you're using the Condoc tools is putting things in the correct place. So when you look at this project, you've got conceptual level 2. We go inside of there, then we've got our walls, and then we've got exterior, and we've got interior. So as long as you put everything in the correct place, it all falls into place and Condoc takes care of everything. And the good news too is that you could run the Condoc tools and go into layout and then realize like something's messed up. It's no problem. You just go into SketchUp and just, you know, usually whatever's messed up will kind of jump out at you. And then you're just going to go into SketchUp and relayer it and put things in the proper place. So once you get the hang of the system, it's really, really quick. You're just making groups, assigning layers, and you don't have to be always hung up on matching properties or drawing on the correct layer like you do in CAD. With this system, if I want to add some more walls, I'm just going to go into my walls here and start drafting. Everything's already on the correct layer. So it's just a really quick and easy way to draft in 3D and at the same time produce your 2D diagrams. Cool. So with the Condoc tools, I mean, we don't have any like, you know, guarantee or anything like official posted there, but if you purchase it and give it a shot, I'm very confident that you'll be extremely psyched about it. And if for some reason you were just completely dissatisfied, of course, you know, we'd stand behind the product and get your refund. So. Cool. Well, if there's any more questions, I'd be glad to answer those. Otherwise, I suppose we'll start winding down here. It's about 3 o'clock now. So. All right. Well, thank you guys very much for coming in today. You know, if you have questions, always you can throw those on the SketchUp Exchange and shoot me an email, you know, give me a call, whatever. We are here. We're jamming away all day, every day. So always like to hear from you guys. But we'll see you on the next one. Sign up for that. I haven't completely landed on the next webinar subject, but it'll be something good, I promise. So sign up for that, and we'll catch you guys very soon. Cool. Thanks, guys.